What's going on, traders? It's Ricky with XBIT Solutions. Thank you guys again for joining us for this is going to be a pre-market analysis. The market opens right now in about 13 minutes, so I'm going to be making this pretty quick. I'm going to be sharing my screen, sharing my whole thought process when it comes to identifying potential in stocks that I'm about to trade. But I want to make sure that you guys have one thing clear when it comes to trading any stock whatsoever. One of the number one rules that we have within our community of TechBot Solutions is that never trade based on anyone else's opinion. So I want to encourage you guys that for those that are joining us for the first time or those that don't necessarily know yet how to trade, don't feel encouraged to actually jump into any position ever without truly understanding, the risk or the potential for profit. If you don't understand if it's a good buy or a good sell, then you should not be investing in that specific stock since you don't understand the risk. And that's one of the biggest mistakes that people make. So just sharing that, I'm going to go right into it. I'm going to be sharing my screen and go from there. Again, the link is provided for you down below if you guys want to join TechBot Solutions. But I want to thank each and every one of you guys that is currently joining us during the pre-market hours. So it looks like Snapchat. This is one that we were analyzing yesterday. So I'm just going to I'm going to pull this over right here. I'm going to pull up level 2. And let's get to it. I'm going to just make this a little bit smaller since there's not that much volume going on. For someone for someone that's wondering, like, what are big indicators that I like to look at, especially during pre-market hours, it has to be volume. I really want to make sure that the volume is healthy. So I usually click from top to bottom on the healthiest stocks, as in the ones that see the most volume. AMD always seems to be up there, and it's those ones that see good amounts of volume that could be doing pretty well during, especially pre-market hours. So it looks like there was somewhat of a dip during pre-market hours. And for those that don't understand how to read this, TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim app, again, this app is 100% free for your laptop or for your computer. I'm using my MacBook. And I have a video explaining how to actually download it, so feel free to take a look at that. But we can see that there's a resistance at $18.30. The reason we know that's a resistance is because it was an old support as well, meaning that that's where it used to bounce. But once it went below it, now it's at a point that it struggles to go above, meaning that around 1130 is an ideal sell point if you buy in closer to the support. And what I mean by that is, let me actually change my drawing study. We're going to change that to price line, just so I can draw a straighter line. So it looked as of Friday, since today's Monday, there was a support at about, $17.88. It's really $17.90. And if we draw a simple support line right there, that's where it bounced, and this is the resistance. So I know the low points and I know the high points. So if you could see during pre-market hours, this dashed line resembles, this half is after-market hours as of Friday, and this half is pre-market hours as of today of Monday. And it looked like it struggled to go above 1820, so it was a little resistance there, which it had after market hours as of Friday as well. And then it went down to the support to lows of 1792, but it held above this old support. So it's still in a sense showing signs of upward momentum since it's not going below what it previously went to. So since it's not making new lows, does that make sense? So right now it's trading a little bit above $18, but I think right when the market opens, there might be a couple pullbacks. The initial support that I'm going to be looking at is at 1788. Does it mean 100% that it's going to bounce at that? No, not at all. And if it doesn't bounce there, then that means it broke the support, and we have to wait until it continues to drop, and then create another support so it can bounce, and then once it starts rising from there, then we can set up another plan. But I'm going to set my alert, so I'm just going to simply set my alert here, and I just right click, create alert, and then when it goes below 1790 is that's a current support, and I'm going to also put an alert if it goes above this resistance. In doing that, I will be alerted and kept up to date where a Snapchat stays. So let's move on to AMD. AMD also, the old support that I had on Friday, if you guys saw, it was at 1163, had a resistance at about $12.40. It broke that support during pre-market hours. Again, this is after market hours on Friday, pre-market hours today. Saw a steady, consistent drop, and it actually bounced nearly at the same point, 1167. So again, it held above this old low point that it did, but it's seeing a slight resistance to break above 1190. So that's something that we're going to want to take a look at. So again, the initial bounce is at 1168, but it struggles to go above 1190. So what could be something that can at least allow you to know you're getting in at a good buy? Well, it all comes down to setting up a plan, and this is what I want you guys to understand. And this is my style of trading, and in no way, if it doesn't make sense to you, then you definitely shouldn't do it. So, what I usually like to look at is I like to look at previous trends. So I identify the support here, the resistance here. That's pretty simple. Buy low, sell high, right? Now setting up a plan, and why setting up a plan is so important is because you have to stay consistent. Regardless of what it is that you're doing, you want to make sure you can minimize your loss and promote growth. There's things called stop loss, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute. So once it bounces, you always want to make sure you're getting in at the rise. So it's not like during this point, this isn't important. You don't want to get in when it's going down, right? You don't want to get in or invest your hard-earned money into something that's in a downward trend. But now when it starts to rise like it did here, it showed one, then two, three, four green candlesticks, and then this EMA line starts to indicate an upward momentum. Then that's something that's going to indicate that it's starting to rise back up. So maybe making the decision, okay, well, once it starts to rise, it hit lows of 1168. Once it goes above 1170, um, or 1175, whatever you decide is your breaking point, I'll decide to buy in. And then I understand that there's going to be a resistance at, what was it, 1220? 1210, right? As that was the old support, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that was the old support, which will be the new resistance. So I'm going to change this to calculate the percentage. So I go to drawing tool for those that were asking me, and then I go to trend line. So if I buy in at 1170, and then my plan is to sell around, maybe $12 or 12.10, whatever it is that you want to sell. That's potential of about 3.42%. If you guys can see the little percentage calculator. In doing that, my potential for profit is 3.42%. I bought in at 1170, and I know the support is at 1163, meaning that if I buy in here, my plan as a conservative trader would be to stop loss if it breaks the old support, meaning that that's at 1163. So that's where I'm going to put my stop loss as soon as I get filled. In doing that, that's a percentage risk of 0.58%. So my potential for profit is much higher than my potential for risk. When it comes down to risk management, that makes sense to me. Therefore, getting in at 1170 at the bounce, riding it up, planning to sell and sticking to my plan around $12 to 12.10, or cutting losses if it goes below 1163 is, in a sense, me setting up a plan for success because I understand where I'm buying, and it makes sense to me because I'm going to be buying at the bounce. I'm going to be selling at the old support, which is now the new resistance, right? Selling at a high point, that makes sense to me. And I'm going to cut my losses where it makes sense to me at the old support, which is at 1163. But I'm buying close enough to the support that my risk for loss isn't very great. And it really comes down to something that simple like that. Now you repeat this whole process, or I repeat this whole process when it comes to trading every single stock that it is that I analyze. So let's go ahead and follow with, I'm going to go to, oh man, looks like we have about 5 minutes left. It looks like JNUG has a support. Wow, why is it so low? Okay, so if JNUG is actually seeing a downward trend, then its inverse ETF, like JDST, must be going up, and that is correct. It looks like it has an overall resistance at $75, and that potential for profit, if we see a little pullback, so there's 6.4%. So you always want to make sure you trade something or invest in whatever, in something that is appreciating in value. With JDST and JNUG, when one goes up, the other one goes down. So it comes down to, deciding or picking the right one. It's almost like a 50-50 chance. But this one is consistently showing an upward trend. We know that there's going to be a resistance soon since we know it's not going to rise forever. That makes sense, right? And it really comes down to the news. And since these are gold-based ETFs and what it is that you think has potential for today. So is it going to always continue to drop? Well, it looks like there's a pretty solid support at 1780. So that might be an ideal breaking point. So if it breaks below 1780, then you might make the decision to invest in JDST. So whatever it is, I'm going to set my alert here just so I'm kept up to date on whether what stock or what ETF I want to go into if I can't find anything else. Since these are usually my go-tos when I can't find a stock that meets any of my criteria. VRX. Okay, well this one's having a little drop, holding above there, and okay, well I'm gonna set my alert if it drops below. XBIT. Whoa! Holy moly, this one had a huge drop. Why? Okay, well this one's definitely very interesting. The reason why is it has a resistance here at $4 pretty much, but it has this gap to make up of what the heck, 55%. Has a support here at lows of $3, but 3 to 4. That's 33% alone. So it's already and these are the ones that I personally really like to analyze. Since they have huge drops, and with these huge drops, it has huge margins of profit to make up. So if it starts to break above $4 and it starts to run, then again the resistance is most likely going to be back to where it was. But again, if it doesn't make sense to you, don't trade it. I'm gonna get my see my position ready and see how this one plays out. Again, I'm gonna try to set up a plan that makes sense to me and to only me, because again, I'm not here to trade and try to make sense of my trades if it doesn't make sense for other people. So let me sell this position. And there might be a couple panic sellers right as the market opens. So expect a pullback, and there's a resistance at $4, obviously. Um, Second, let's see. Alrighty. Market is open, and do we have a runner? Holding, holding. It's running. There we go. Shoot. And I'm missing out already. Pull back again. Support's gonna be at $4. My order isn't executing, and this is why Robinhood is so frustrating. Okay. Yeah, my order doesn't want to execute. Wow, that's 10% already that I'm missing out on because of this ridiculous. All right, and this is the most frustrating part. So I would have bought it in if it went above $4, and it's already up 10%. But what happened is I got this error message that everyone's been receiving. I'm not sure. I'll post it later, but that was definitely a good one. So at least we found a good stock, and I guess we won't be trading it today. Okay, well, I don't know what happened. Is my order so? Let's see. All right, looks like there's a support more like, nope, it's now we're just getting a nice little pullback. Limit order 405. So it had a huge spike from $3. Let's see. Again, don't jump into the hype, guys. If it doesn't make sense to you, please understand. And the support's at $4, so if it breaks below support, then that's where I would cut my losses. Um, all right. I do apologize. I really wish we could have gotten in and out that quickly. It just looks like my account with Robinhood was now it let me sell my position. But it's kind of, besides the point that it lets me sell now when I originally wanted to sell. Okay, now it doesn't even want to allow me to buy. This is okay. I really don't get this. Yeah, this isn't working out for me with this Robinhood account with when it's under $25,000. XBIT. Yeah, guys, like, and I've been really trying to be patient with Robinhood. And all right, what's that support right now? And it just broke below support. So again, no longer interested in XBIT, at least not at the moment. Again, once it breaks that support, that's where I would have stopped my losses out. But we literally missed out on 9%. Again, I would have probably not been able to sell at the peak. I probably would have stop lossed out at 430. That's probably where I would have followed with the stop loss. An AK went less or below. Okay. But now it's saying every time that I try to place a position or trade that my order, if I do purchase, it won't be able to sell today. Yeah, I still have 3-day trades left. So that's something that I don't understand with Robinhood on how they. Yeah, it says that I'll only be able to sell a portion of my position, which is not something that I'm willing to do. And it's um, okay. This is what I'm gonna do. We started this $1,000 challenge in a sense to spark interest in like traders, make it accessible for everyone that doesn't have a lot of money. I used to trade with Robinhood when I had over the $25,000, and I didn't encounter any of these like restrictions, especially when I don't even use margin and they say that I do use margin and they're restricting me due to that. There's just a lot of flaws within this platform, and I hate seeing not just myself. Because if you guys have seen in the past, like 3 weeks that we've been doing this Robinhood challenge, I've probably lost $300 to $400 on my Robinhood account that I was staying above this Robinhood $1,000 challenge, and I've continuously taken huge losses because of the inability to sell my position due to their apex with their holding company and all that stuff that they do, which is their account, and it's what it is that they want to do. But I really think I'm gonna have to possibly remove this challenge away from Robinhood because it's not working out for a lot of us. When it comes to the PDT rule, for those that have under $1,000, it's not working even to sell our positions or get in. Um, so although we do have 3-day trades, they won't even allow us to use it because of all these restrictions that they have. So I do apologize. It's something that I'm gonna have to think about um, because I was so hyped that I was doing so well within this $1,000 challenge, and now taking these huge losses, I'm back pretty much. I'm up like $63 from the $1,000 challenge when I should have been up a little bit over 1,400. And it comes down to just the simple mistakes that Robinhood has been making that doesn't allow me to sell my position. So I'll talk maybe a little bit more about this in today's helpful video, but I'm pretty much done trading with my Robinhood account. Um, and I do apologize for all those that joined us because of this Robinhood $1,000 challenge. I don't want to stop this challenge because I know it's been sparking a lot of interest for those that have been wanting to get into trading penny stocks. But I'm gonna see if I can set up some sort of deal, or affiliation with Fidelity or TD Ameritrade because those are the main ones that I've used. And TD Ameritrade has, like, in a sense, shown interest um, in our platform, and maybe providing like a channel for you guys to kind of get started. Um, so other than that, I'll try to do the best that I can, and kind of go from there. So I hope you guys understand, and please let me know if you guys have any suggestions on what it is that you guys think that I should do. I'd be more than happy to hear you guys out. Um, Appreciate everything it is that you guys do, and I wish you guys the best. And I do apologize again for such a bad experience um, when it comes to this live stream. I really do apologize. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, guys.